Rome was not just a city, it was an idea. A republic built on laws, traditions, and a delicate balance of power. But every republic, no matter how strong, eventually faces its defining test, the moment when a single person becomes greater than the system itself. This is the story of Julius Caesar, a leader adored by the people, feared by the elite, and watched with cautious eyes by the guardians of Roman politics. It's a tale of soaring ambition, fractured loyalties, and irreversible decisions. It is the story of a silent conspiracy that would change the destiny of Rome forever. Before Caesar's rise, Rome was already a republic under immense strain. The city was a battleground of ideas and influence. On one side, the Senate represented tradition and the ancient authority of the aristocratic families. On the other, the people, the plebeians, demanded a voice, protection from exploitation, and meaningful reform. The air was thick with tension. Bitter disputes between powerful families, popular generals, and conservative politicians created a deeply unstable environment. In this world, alliances were as fleeting as a summer storm, and trust was the rarest of currencies. It was in this cauldron of political turmoil that a young patrician began to distinguish himself. Not just for his noble lineage, but for his razor-sharp strategic mind and an almost magical ability to win devoted followers. Caesar understood a fundamental truth about Rome. It was governed as much by public perception as by written law. His genius was not confined to the battlefield. By leading brilliant military campaigns and expanding Roman territories, he did more than just extend the borders. He built a personal legend, a reputation so immense it became impossible for the Senate to ignore. His dispatches from Gaul were not dry military reports. They were thrilling narratives read aloud in public squares, turning his soldiers' deeds into heroic epics. His victories were celebrated by the common people with festivals and parades, while in the halls of the Senate, they were observed with growing unease. Each triumph that brought him closer to the hearts of the people also pushed the Republic closer to a breaking point. The more Caesar's influence grew, the more fragile the old balance of power became. He was no longer just a general, he was a symbol. But Caesar did not seize power in a violent coup. He was far more clever than that. He masterfully used the system against itself. He followed the legal paths, held legitimate offices, and won official votes, accumulating power through perfectly constitutional means. He was elected consul, then proconsul, and finally dictator. Yet the relentless accumulation of honors, the concentration of decision-making in his hands, and the near-religious devotion of the masses began to create a silent, spreading discomfort among the traditional elite. For many senators who saw themselves as the custodians of Roman liberty, the Republic was ceasing to be a republic. It was morphing into something new, something dangerously different, something that looked terrifyingly like a monarchy disguised in a toga. Not everyone who walked beside Caesar was a secret enemy. Many were his friends. Some were political allies who owed their careers to his patronage. Brutus, his most famous betrayer, was treated almost like a son. But in the high-stakes world of Roman politics, proximity to power is a dangerous thing. It breeds jealousy and unmet expectations. As Caesar distributed honors and made decisions, not everyone felt their loyalty was adequately rewarded. When key appointments went to others, when political decisions failed to satisfy their own ambitions, the respect some of these men held for Caesar slowly began to curdle into frustration and resentment. These weren't just political disagreements, they were personal slights that festered in the shadows. The conspiracy wasn't born in the public forum or shouted from the rooftops. It grew in whispers. It took shape in discreet conversations held in the secluded gardens of private villas, in secret late-night meetings, and in exchanged glances across the Senate floor. The men involved did not see themselves as villains. In their own minds, they were heroes, patriots, making a terrible but necessary sacrifice. They believed they were saving Rome from tyranny, preserving the republic their ancestors had built, and protecting the sacred traditions that had made Rome great. Each participant, from the most hesitant to the most resolute, justified the impending act as a solemn civic duty, the last resort to defend liberty. The Ides of March arrived like any other day. The chosen date seemed ordinary, filled with political sessions, official commitments, and the familiar rituals of Roman public life. The air in Rome was clear, belying the storm that was about to break. Caesar entered the theater of Pompey, where the Senate was meeting with his usual confidence. He greeted his colleagues, unaware that he was walking toward a point of no return. What happened in that hall was not merely an act against one man. It was a historical rupture, an extreme action taken against the very structure of the republic they claimed to be protecting. In those few frantic moments, the destiny of the Roman world was irrevocably altered. Rome would never, ever be the same. The conspirators believed their decisive act would be a reset button for the republic. They imagined that with the dictator gone, the Senate would reclaim its authority and Rome would return to its old stable ways. They were disastrously wrong. The effect was the absolute opposite. Caesar's death didn't bring stability. It unleashed chaos. His absence created a terrifying power vacuum, leading to bitter political infighting and divisions far deeper than those he had caused. The people who had seen Caesar as their champion and protector did not celebrate his death as a liberation. They reacted with grief and violent outrage. The Senate, meanwhile, completely lost control of the narrative. The liberators were recast as assassins, and the republic they had killed to save began to die with them. In the end, the desperate attempt to preserve the republic was the very thing that hastened its demise. The conspiracy didn't save the old Rome. It cleared the path for a new one. In the chaos that followed, new leaders emerged from the ashes of the old order. Caesar's loyal general, Mark Antony, and his young, cunning heir, Octavian, stepped onto the stage. The political struggles intensified into brutal civil wars that tore the Roman world apart for over a decade. Step by step, battle by battle, Rome moved away from the ideal of a shared republic and toward a new system of absolute power. The Roman Empire did not arise by chance. It was born directly from the blood-soaked consequences of that conspiracy. The story of Julius Caesar isn't just a simple tale of ambition or betrayal. It's a profound lesson about the fragile line between leadership and excessive power. It's about how political systems can collapse when they fail to adapt to change. It serves as a timeless warning about what happens when good intentions lead to catastrophic outcomes. Rome lost its republic at the very moment its defenders tried to save it through the wrong means. If you enjoyed this journey into one of history's most pivotal moments, please like this video, share it with fellow history enthusiasts, and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the events that shaped our world. Thanks for watching, and until the next chapter of history.